Peace, 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 peace. Let me deliver this. Greetings to all, peace to all. Divine clarity, all these shifts among us, internally, externally. Come on, why the mosquitoes? Why y'all gotta come down when I'm doing something? But anywho, this won't be, no, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. So I'm sending you all love and light, clarity, awareness, light in your own darkness, because you are your darkness in your own light. Give honor to source, to the all. Shout out Tree, you know what I'm saying? Reminding me to stay rooted. But, okay, so the message here. Okay, is that another spider? That's interesting. Can y'all see that? Ooh, I like how that came on the video. That was cool. You know what? That's cool that I saw that. You are the spider. Yes, you. Spider, what does that represent? Eight legs. Does it have 8 legs? I believe so. Okay, abundance. I love the spider aspect because it also reminds you to weave your own web, meaning we create your own reality. And spiders actually do create their own everything. And what's so significant about spiders that I love is that it sets the trap for the prey. Mm. Now, are you the prey or are you the spider? So, anywho, this message here, a lot of you, how could I say this? A lot of our men, especially young men, a lot of warriors are being risen up, and this will resonate with some. A lot of warriors that are being initiated, meaning those of you who have become aware of the hell that you had to experience, the betrayals, the losses, the not so good witches, warlocks, or those who know and become aware of these things. Those of you that are aware that a part of your journey, a part of what you've been seeing, a part of what you are learning to learn the importance of semen retention, learn the importance of certain relationships that carried met women or meeting women who carry this incubus, succubus, or Jezebel spirit. A lot of this is a part of your initiation. You're coming into healing the aspect, you representing the patriarchal, but healing Mother Gaia, or some may call it Sophia, but the Divine Mother. So your painful experience was also a part of your initiation. Some will come in fast. Or this could be people running away. No, I'm just kidding. But the beauty, somebody is flying. But the beauty of all of this is, as I came aware a lot of what I was being initiating and what a lot of our men are being initiated into has a lot to do with you becoming aware of your motherly, matriarchal woundings. And again, learning how and who are the people who claim to love you, but they only showed you a blueprint of pain and what it was to the false narrative of what that blueprint was of what the mother and father represented. So a lot of us had to mother and father ourselves, which is the feminine, masculine principles. And that part of that, of this initiation, is so we could help guide in healing ourselves, which is through the pain of what we experience with our mother's relationship with women, and to bring forth a more healthy, holistic approach. So a lot of you had to go through a lot of karmic, distorted relationships with women who also learn the distorted way of a mother and or father, the false pretense of what it actually embodies and represents. So, and that was a part of how the family that you came from, and a lot of you are recreating. Some of you, these initiations can come through with already having children by someone. These initiations can come through with certain relationships with people, no matter the dynamic, no matter what it looks like. Because now we're able to, as you elevate and become more aware, as I was especially to one of my brothers, it's like, even with me, like, again, I had to become very aware of the things that I saw my mother go through, not knowing that this shit was a part of preparing me for my journey, preparing me for a holistic journey, preparing me for, what may be, what some may call a holistic teacher, or just a vessel to inspire others upon this journey of returning to wholeness, or returning to the essence, or acknowledging childhood woundings. So a lot of which, again, a part of my awareness, or what some may call spiritual attacks, I had to become aware that it's more than what's on the surface. And what I mean by that is like what we see in the physical. This is and has always been a spiritual war. And the more I start to learn more about this, again, everyone's path isn't everyone's path. My individual path takes a lot of courage to speak this truth of mine. It also having the courage to express it from a place of love, not fearing how the world perceives me, being fearless and walking my path with faith, knowing that I'm protected by something greater and higher, my spirit guides, things that, again, help me become aware and a part of what I am here to do. So in that process, I'm getting to, for a lot of us, you're going to have to realize that you're going to have to walk away from the ones you assume that loved you the most. Once you start choosing to love yourself, once certain things start to begin to be revealed to you, because a lot of these folks, as you're going to become aware of, are not who they say or perceive themselves to be. And there's a saying that goes like, or once you see what you saw, you can't unsee the shit. A lot of you have spiritual gifts. A lot of you have gifts that you've been hiding from. A lot of you have a lot of powerful spiritual gifts that even the dark and light, what if y'all want to call them demons, or what you want to call them, whatever it is, they bow to you. They honor you. Because, see, nothing can feed off you or continue to feed off you if you walk in the presence of the creator or source. But what I mean by that is walking fearlessly in love, no matter how the world is going to judge you. And so that being said, integrity. A lot of people don't know this walk. A lot of people won't accept this walk. A lot of people don't have the courage because they choose to hide in the dark and they choose to stay there. And eventually, some of us are some of the people, men, women, that we actually carry both the dark and light within us to, when we learn more about our value, that's within, that is limitless, that has nothing to do with what materialistically what we can gain so much of or hoard so much of. It's more so of walking and speaking your divine truth, and everywhere we go, we step foot on whatever ground, soil, country, continent, whatever, we shake shit up. We shift the environment. We shift the the energy. We shift the grid. We shift. We are the shift. We are the change. And again, a lot of you men, young men, will come into a lot of awareness of who your mother to be, who your great grandmothers, grandfathers, most importantly, the women now in your life, because a lot of you are going to need, or for some, if it's meant for you to be in divine partnership with someone that is going to reciprocate that value system that you have, that meaning being equally yoked, because everything is being revealed right now. And a lot of these unions that people always talk about, I don't care to get into the titles, but the union I always say is, when you say you, uni meaning one, you and I, but the partnership with yourself, meaning your source or your creator, your higher power, you being in union with the spirit as well as the physical. And so you being in partnership with yourself, then to align with someone that will come along to reflect that and reciprocate that, because you both have something here to do. And so a lot of us are in that crossroad, that place where you have to go through doors. A lot of you being initiated right now, you have to go through doors that your family cannot go through, that your clan, tribe, you have to go places to become, whether it be more spiritually enlightened, whether it be meeting someone, whether it be a path of least resistance, a path that's more aligned with your purpose. That can be to another country, that can be to another city, another place, because Big Mama, or Big Mama is calling us. And when I say that Big Mama energy on a soul level is calling us to restore what has been within us. And because a lot of us have to accept, I've accepted this, that in the past, being where I was, I always knew within myself on my own path, and some of you will know this, is that your path has kind of always been alone in a way. And I don't mean alone. I always say alone is you put another L beside the L in alone, and it's like all one, meaning that you always been one with yourself. You just got, sidetracked in a way. But I say that to say this is, a lot of these women, you feel like, not just women, a lot of you that have been in certain relationships, a lot of you had to go through these things, and a part of it was a part of your ascension, you're part of your awakening process, a part of your enlightenment, if you want to call it these things, but more on a soul level, to where the healing, the shadow work, the inner work, because you have a greater calling, and the calling gonna keep calling your ass. Yep. Hey, you still ready? I'm gonna keep calling. The calling gonna leave your ass voicemails like, hey, we waiting on you. You're gonna see the signs and synchronicities. You're gonna see a lot of things, because it cannot be ignored. It no longer will be ignored. And so, again, this is why a lot of us can have so much. And sometimes you don't necessarily pick up. It's not really you. It's so much of what's been trying to stay in your energetic fields, or have an energetic pull on you. And I'm gonna get in more to depth about that. Is that, for some people that don't know, is that I was speaking to one of my brothers, because a lot of us are gonna have a greater responsibility of the energy and the knowledge that we're gonna be receiving in these moments, because it's not for everyone. And that's gonna be one of the greatest lessons. and a lot of grieving that a lot of people are already doing is that people are not going to be able to go with you and walk this path. There are some, even the ones you assumed that was coming with you, they are not going. They are not going. Not it's, and then it's what they choose to accept and believe. It's no one to blame. It's just you have a higher calling. You have something that only you and Source can. You only can receive just being with yourself. You only can receive sometimes not only being with yourself, but the clarity, the awareness that you may get, the places you have to go, then return to help others. And they still in themselves have to be ready. They still have to realize, like, have they done the inner work? And some of you know as you become more aware, and I mean the acknowledging the woundings, the acknowledging your gifts, the acknowledgement of the healing that has to take place. And you will be able to see this more and more aware, become more aware of this as you elevate mentally, spiritually, as you evolve. So again, even going back to let's talk about these energies or sexual exchanges. A lot of us are coming to the awareness of, like, even the women, men or women, who however it seems or whatever, the being unequally yoked. And see, as you elevate upon this path, you're gonna need, not say necessarily you need, but your soul knows what it's needing, the nourishment. Then and that's because you did the inner work. You know what it is for yourself. Some of you could create children just by someone that may not be consciously as aware as you are, and this can happen for a lot of people. And I can't really, and I'm not here to tell people, like, not to have love and compassion, but some people will awaken this lifetime. Some people will choose not to. Some people will choose to get comfortable in their woundings or stay in their darkness. Some people will choose that. And a lot of you at this crossroad, at this place right now, a lot of us have to make life altering, changing decisions right now to where you're deciding and will decide, or a decision will be made for you to walk this path, whether with yourself and or others, because a lot of things cannot be forced anymore. A lot of things, because we know when you're trying to force shit, you will go through what some may know as a spiritual ass whooping. I be telling people, y'all don't want to hear the signs, and something happens in spirit, sit your ass down. Or some people, like now, those that want to fiddle around and think that you doing all this tampering with shit, magic or whatever, y'all know I ain't gonna go into much detail about that, or doing all these things and think that there's no repercussion to that shit. I mean, I'm living proof. I know that I am untouchable. I know that I'm divinely guided and protected. And that's because I choose to listen and be in tune. So a lot of you that aren't aware, the reason why a lot of things are happening because your ass is not fucking listening. You want to, you believe that these people out here who portray themselves as being what some may call a Baba, high priestess, or anything, you think it looks a certain way. Shit. As you become more aware upon your path, a lot of things will be revealed to you in divine timing. Because certain things you can be sent, but it can't, you cannot be killed in a sense. A lot of things now, we are so protected to where it immediately backfires. And a lot of which people are assuming that they can continue to do and tamper with things. No, it's what's done is done. And what's written is written. So the calling is going to keep calling. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a guide, if whatever you want to call it. And the beauty of all of this is great things are coming. But at the same time, when Spirit say, get your ass out the way, get out the way. And that's what I've learned. Sometimes you have to get out of the way because some people you're going to learn in your family dynamics, some people you're gonna grow up with. A lot of things are gonna be revealed to you. And it's not personal, it's vibrational. Again, everyone's journey is different, is uniquely different, but it's what's the whole purpose of this? Why are people doing it? Because now a lot of things are becoming more apparent. The veil has been lifted, already been lifted. And so there's no stopping what is divinely orchestrated right now. And that's the beauty in this shit, is that, let me go back to like even the sexual energy exchanges, like, especially to a lot of women and men. When a man lets off in a woman or ejaculates or whatever, his sperm, that sperm can stay in a woman up to almost 7 years, depending on like if she do yoni steams, cleans herself. So yeah, I told it to my bro. He was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, bro, this shit is deep." He was like, "What you mean?" I was like, "Bro, think about the women you lay down with. Think about the women not knowing unconsciously what they're carrying spiritually in their wombs, traumas, whatever." And that's what a lot of stuff is coming up and out about. And I always express this shit to people. I'm like, do you realize how much our mothers have been carrying things in their wombs, traumas, pains, family dynamics, people who have been raped, incest, just so many things that has been carried in what they call the sacral area, the womb, the root chakra. And that's what a lot of this energy is coming up. It's the dynamic of the family, of the clan, the tribe, and a lot of stuff is being unrooted right now. The impurities of the soil, because a man plants his seed in the soil and fertilizes in the woman. So again, you're talking about fruit. You're talking about things that are not ripe or not righteous or not pure, not healthy. So think about like the fact of men and women, you know, been laying down or, you know, with people not really knowing their backstory. They can tell you any fucking thing, not, let alone what's attached to them, not knowing, like, you don't know what they've been doing. And I'm telling you from my own fucking experience, things that I went through, you know, and again, no one's to blame. It's just the awareness on even what I saw growing up, what I experienced. So, and I'm gonna go into detail because this get a little, hey, I'm just let you know. Think about women that have sex with men knowing that it's not the child's father when they're pregnant, or not knowing that they're pregnant and still go out there and have sex with multiple men. You are carrying that man's semen, and then people don't realize DNA, everything in that man's semen is DNA, and that this shit is wild. But I have to tell y'all because y'all don't realize like how sacred and how much we're purifying our fucking selves of. Like I said, this is not everyone's journey. But this is what I'm telling a lot of you why you're going through this process, you know, of realizing like a lot of it's karmic. And this is just bringing awareness to men, like, because things are changing, whether people want to accept it or not. You don't know what women are carrying, you don't know what men are carrying. And when these things happen, and this is why a lot of us, as I've been on my journey, me having a beautiful princess or just learning, like I knew right there. As soon as I saw her eyes, as soon as I saw the creation, which most men, a lot of you haven't witnessed, is that when you do create and co-create with a woman, we not say we, but some people take that shit as a joke. When you don't realize karmically you just created, you're not only clearing karma from that mother's lineage, but you're clearing karma for the father's lineage as well. Not to mention, people don't go as deep as like, did your ancestors, did their ancestors do whatever they carrying? Do it really align or synchronize? Do we do things from a lower level, meaning like creating out of, from just a physical perspective, animalistic behavior, a lower level? And then a lot of this is a part of people's initiation, such as myself. Like I said, I had to see this shit, and it brought more awareness to my own healing, me choosing to heal, and more so much woundings coming up centered around the woman, the feminine aspect also within myself, and the masculine aspect, seeing my role as a patriarchal, representing a patriarchal, but also seeing the roles of the matriarchal. So again, it's about the awareness of even choosing a partner who is more aware. Not just aware, like, because sometimes you have to realize people are going through their own spiritual warfare. And a lot of you will see that some people are willing to change, some people will not. And that's what a lot of us now are realizing, that a lot of people aren't going to accept and like the decisions that you make, being because your calling will be not to associate yourself with certain people anymore. Me and the elder were speaking earlier, and we were speaking about how, oh yeah, let me get back on the even like the wombs, like going back to how the sperm, you go back hundreds or so far to where the sperm in itself, women being forced on, men then getting up, going over here, laying with this woman. I'm telling you shit that my fucking people don't talk about. Man, I'm gonna do it. Thinking that was a culture. That this is what the music was talking about. Just simply going out here doing this and doing this and doing this. Oh, it's cool. What? I don't expect people to get this, but this is why a lot of the healing and awareness is taking place, because we have a responsibility now to be more how we consciously bring more awareness to how we raise and our daughters, and hold our mothers accountable as well as ourselves. Because now I see like how many of our mothers and women are clearing so much fucking karma. You think it's just you. If the matriarchal is being restored, and we're talking about the divine feminine aspect, as it will operate how the original principles or the feminine principles of God or the creator of source, because there is balance in the universe. This is what restoration is of the feminine energy. This is the feminine energy being restored within us. And in order to see that, the feminine is the darkness aspect, again, that we all been hiding from, that no longer can be hidden. And then what? There comes the light. So no one can really hide from this. No one can run from this shit. This is like the dark mother revealing herself in a way of like her restoring that rebellious, ever-changing, just the beauty, seeing your beauty in the darkness, and how seeing the deepest and darkest secrets of ourselves, and me expressing it to you, thinking it was cool to go lay up with every woman. Not seeing how even I was led to, at that moment, spiritually, like how, a lot of stuff is going to be revealed. Like a lot of memories are going to come up right now that you didn't even realize that was hoarded in your DNA. Because see, tissue or issues or DNA that has been, your memories, the memories of what your mother went through was carried through your tissue. And you carry that same tissue, DNA structure in that same issues until you actually acknowledge what's really the fuck going on. And you're trying to wonder why you're reenacting these things, and then you come to this awareness like, hey, fuck, it's me. But it's not to say you are your mother, but you carry that aspect of her and the father. So they're both that distorted aspect of both of them. Again, this is not to blame anyone or say that you are a failure, because you're not a failure. You haven't never failed at anything. I never failed myself as a father because I was always a father. Most importantly to myself, but even in the neighborhoods with their kids. I was a father, representing a father to the little girls, even women who never had that aspect. So I was responsible, even in that sense, reflecting some type of fatherly figure to any young lady or woman. And a lot of our initiation is a part of taking into account and becoming aware of our own wounding so we can be a healthy version that reflects the father, the patriarchal that our women so, and I'm not, I don't like the term desperately, but they need that. They need to see it. We need to talk about this shit. I remember Pac said it's time for us to heal our women, be real to our women. He did mention kill, but you know, I'm not and not the one to say do that. That's others' free will. But one does have a right to defend their life and the ones that they love. And because those moments are approaching, because the tide has shifted. But more so, what I'm speaking of is that in a holistic way, because you fuckers that ever try to twist my words, you could never, because it is what it is. Because a lot of shit that goes on that I don't want to give energy to, where you seeing just how people are gunned down, cowardly, things spiritually are going to happen to where that shit ain't even going to be much of an issue anymore. We're not even concerned about those water guns or anything anymore, because the magic of mama has returned. But more so or less for y'all, the calling gonna keep calling, because it's now. And I had to learn to be patient with myself and these mothers, the mothers to be, the mothers who are still mothers, whether they naturally can bear kids, the mothers that still care and don't make excuses. And even if they did shit, they have the right to their emotions to feel the way they feel. But a lot of mothers that didn't have the resources, that did not have, that were even fooled and bamboozled to even believing that the system that we see falling now, that so desperately wanted the man not to be a part, and what they use against you as like psychological warfare, spiritual warfare, that you're not going to need us in these moments. You know, that we don't need each other when we do. I just want to let you know I love you. I appreciate you. You never failed us. And those of you that know that this resonates with, you are not a failure. Even the ones that still, you're holding on to pain or something that has happened. You didn't fail yourself. You didn't fail your mother. You didn't fail those that came before you. You just had to be reminded that you've always been beautiful. You've always been embraced. You've always been loved. And again, as much as the world has tried their best to fucking devalue you, castrate you, erase you, we need you. I need you. Because the nation can rise no higher than this woman. And you are still a woman that can bring forth life. That means you are life in essence. And more so, you are Shit, men, we just represent like a boat in the middle of your storm. I've done my best. I had to weather the storm of some of the most powerful women. Not to mention, like, within my mother's womb, then to come here and have the power and courage to love her through her own storm, her own raging war. And then now to be able to hold a space compassionately for her and all women, as well as my princess. So a lot of which, it's not about convincing you that you are loved. You've always been a reflection of love. You've always been a reflection of creation and nature. And I get it, you haven't heard it most of your life. You haven't shit even seen it. You haven't even experienced it in society or in schools and in these governmental structures. This is why a lot of us now are being called to remind you. A lot of you know who you are. And not to say that, and we're being called solely not to use you. Because I know there are some that have used this spiritual shit as a crutch, and they will have to answer as well. And when men and women that have used these platforms or used these things, and you will see a fall from grace with them too. But I'm letting you know that you, a part of you, have done what you've done because you're trying to reclaim the innocence that was so, like, just tried to be stripped from you. You're trying to restore, and it will be restored. Those of us that are raising up now, you're just trying to learn what it is to feel again, to be appreciated, to actually feel fucking valued in this world, who try to destroy everything that you represent, no matter what creed or culture you come from, no matter what size you are, no matter if you have one leg, two legs, one eye, you are still as important as those who have every limb. You women that had the courage to even adopt a child just because naturally they couldn't. I'm here to tell you that you still are a mother. You still are a representation of the divine mother because that child still needed your love and affection. To the women that have also experienced miscarriages, you are not to blame, especially those who wanted to love that child, those who wanted so much to be a mother. But I'm also here to remind you that it's not your fault. A lot of which is happening right now that even though it may not make sense right now and it may seem uncomfortable for, as I say this, but I do not have a womb to say that I could feel to the depths of what you experience on a physical level. But I am here to say that you are going to receive this message to know that someday you will bear and carry and bring forth a beautiful divine seed that reflects love. Because a lot of us don't realize that a lot of us have to aid into more of a holistic healing way to bring forth to bring forth somebody jamming. But yeah, I guess a little break. But a lot of you mothers that again had to go through miscarriages, stillbirths, because I've experienced this on my path where I met a lot of sisters, a lot of women who experience these things, a lot of single mothers, a lot of mothers who don't know why. It doesn't make sense why their journey is the way it is. And the simplest words is that you have a story to tell. And if you're still here breathing, you still have a message to, you still have a mission here. You still have a purpose to fulfill. And I cannot tell you how to grieve and how that looks, but I'm going to do my very best to what knowledge and wisdom that I am given to empower you through these moments, that you are valuable. And a lot of us didn't really know our value system. And now it can be differently. Our approach can be differently. And this is not me telling you what to do and how to do with your vessel and your body, because you only know what's best for you. But I'm also expressing to you that you are valuable. You are, okay, you are more valuable than, you are not a product. You are not just a physical vessel that is meant to just be forced on. You are not just something that is to be just looked outwardly as, to really see what your true beauty is. Your value will be beyond measure, beyond words, beyond what's on the surface, beyond what society, your father, your mother, your schools, your career, your status has told you. You are limitless. Your value is your spiritual currency. Your value is that of how you're able to love immensely, unmeasurably, how much you are still loving yourself through the pain, the resilience that you had and were given from source, from the creator, from the most high. And that hasn't gone unnoticed. I just want to remind you that your efforts hasn't gone on unnoticed, and your journey has never been in vain. You have always and will always be valued. And I see you. I appreciate you. And I love you. And just know that through your resilience, you are needed right now. Because a lot of you have to realize that you don't have to stay in that pain. You can actually share. And it's a process for everyone. You can actually share your message with someone who can relate. Because we're all experiencing something. And this is not to discredit your pain and your experiences. It's more so to know that you are valuable more than what has been or what can be presented in the physical. You are you are limitless, and you are more valuable than what can be obtained in the physical and material plane. You are the ones that are here to change the narrative of what a woman walking in her divinity, her divine right, her divine truth. You are chosen and elected to do that. And a lot of you, I know, have been afraid to do that. But I'm here to remind you that it's you. You are being currently initiated to show the princesses, these young women, these princesses and young women, that they're more valuable, that their wombs are more valuable, that they are here to bring forth life that makes them life in itself. They reflect nature. They reflect life. They reflect love. They also reflect the darkness, because the seed, again, teaching them about their womb, because I know you wasn't taught this shit. I had to come into this awareness to share with you, because a lot of us, and even men such as myself in the past who learned from a distorted mother, or a mother that didn't really know her value. And it's not to discredit her. She was amazing. She could only give from the resources she had. But no, what I'm saying is no one is exempt. We all came here to clear karma. And the beauty of it all is that now I must mind you that you've always been whole within yourself. A man doesn't make you whole. We are all here to remind each other that we have always been whole. We have always been the reflection and returning to the essence of who we truly are. We just all simply are trying to regain the crown of glory of our childhood, of our innocence. And a lot of us didn't get to be shown that. So I know a lot of us made unconscious decisions of trying to seek that mother and or father and or love, whether through sex, whether through abandonment issues, whether through a loss of someone, whether that be a child or a family member, you know, trying to feel that place. But I'm letting you know that, you know, you have already been and you are fulfilled. So now your approach can be different. Now you can also love yourself holistically and see yourself as being whole, and now attract someone as such. You know, that is going to pour into you, that is going to nurture your wounds and empower you and reflect back to you that you are a divine creation. And so, again, it's the responsibility. I'm here to hold you accountable as well as myself. Because I need you as well as I hold myself accountable. We hold each other accountable. That helps us to be more self-sufficient. That helps us to be more aware and accountable for our role here. Because I know now this is about whether you are women that have kids, coming out of a marriage. It's so many things I can talk about. But the responsibility in knowing the legacy, that the importance of teaching the youth, your little girls, because right now the world is being faced with themselves, and a lot of us are being called, initiated, or prepared for these very moments to help aid in our in a global healing, in the humanitarian, humanity's healing. Because a lot of us, most of us, was given the false narrative of what a mother should be. And I'm gonna tell you the real shit. It's like, you know how and what it is to be a woman, but let's be honest. Your mother didn't know how to be a mother or to be a woman, because what was her value of being a mother? Was it based on success? Was it based on sex? Was it based on a lot of things that we know that hasn't been spoken about? Allowing certain things to happen in the homes. It gets real deep. So it ain't even just, and even with myself, what I thought was a man, I had to get to a place from trying to reenact those things and realizing that's not a man. That was a distorted, imbalanced man. That was an insecure man. That was a man that was running from his own fucking darkness and shadow. And now here I am, embracing all that of me, because that man had to learn something from whatever his mother went through or saw something his father did. The cycle or the loop, I said, until someone chooses to change it. And everyone's not going to be in agreement. Everyone's not going to accept you and the power and authority that you walk in. This is why a lot of us now have to speak and stand in that divine truth. Because some people will want people to stay in the darkness. And you know that. A lot of you know that there are family and people that don't want you to speak up about what it is you're going through. Speak that shit. Be confident. I know you may shake. I know you may cry. But you know what? No one else is going to do it but you. And I'm telling you from experience, it took me a lot of courage. And sometimes it may be in a process of where you're losing everything from family, where you may go through a lot of things where, like, this is what the creator source does. It's like everything will be removed because you chose to stand in truth. You chose to walk in faith and not lay and lie down in fear. But I will tell you this, all of that shit shall be replaced tenfold and will be replaced tenfold, abundantly, bountifully, prosperously, through your spiritual gifts and also a sense of peace. Because a lot of us, when you're running from yourself, you're not at peace. Let's be real here, sisters and everybody. A part of you didn't even realize a lot of things were still there until you see something, until you're triggered, until something comes up about that man, about that woman, about what happened when you were a child. And it's steps. I'm here to aid you and say, hey, you can write it down. You can burn it and let it go. You can forgive yourself now. You can, and when you forgive and accept those things, it allows you to go through that grieving process to, um, to now to be patient with yourself, to now be able to love yourself, to honor your womb, men, to honor your staff, your penis, and to what it really is here to do. And it may sound crazy, but I'm letting y'all know the real, because you'll be able to see the importance now and the awareness in how divine you are, how beautiful you fucking are. You'll be able to see the ones that put in and put on. Because anyone that knows me is that, and that ain't to convince y'all of nothing and believe nothing I say. It's more so doing the inner work. You can be at peace. You can sense it. You can feel the vibe. And know that you know what it is now to weather the storm. No longer, tell yourself, no longer will you ignore the raging storm within you. Because a lot of you have been carrying your mother's burdens and father's burdens and don't know how. Reenact their narcissistic behavior, controlling behavior. And now seeing all those things you've been faced with, boom. Spiritual warfare be like, boom, nigga, what you thought you was running from? And you've been bombarded with shit, memories, thoughts, shit showing up in your reality, certain things. You're like, man, what the people? In the whole midst of trying to take care of your fucking self. Because I've been expressing to people, in these moments, your mental health, as you align, as some of us are coming out of doing the shadow work, in the inner work, it's going to be very apparent now, the ones that laugh, and this is not to pass judgment, but the ones who shamed you, the ones who laughed and threw the rock and hid their hand, and now their hand is showing. They can't hide anymore. The substance abuse, the verbal abuse, the physical abuse, or pretty much their darkness. They can't hide who they are anymore. Their entity attachments, shit that is attached to them. They cannot hide from themselves. Because the truth is that a lot of us are being initiated is because we're able to see that those are the ones that's going to need you. Or those are the ones you're going to have to flee from. Or those are the ones that, again, some of us are here to simply present these things for our own protection. You're going to realize that rejection and why you were uprooted and removed from those places was simply because you had to go do inner work, was simply because you had to see what was blocking your vision or what was in your way, and really it was you, and to see who really was really doing stuff, going here, doing this, the real spiritual warfare. Who really isn't aiding you and wanting you to heal? Who really is trying to hinder and keep you there due to their own attachments to you, their own entity attachments to them, things that do not want you to break these generational hexes and curses and chains and shit that's been following your motherfucking family, your fucking family for so long. See, in that process, the reward is your peace. That's the abundance. Sometimes the reward can be your sanity. That reward can simply be you moving out of a fucking mansion and moving into a tiny home, or moving into a trailer, or going somewhere and relocating where you grow your own garden, or you get a few people and move to a neighborhood or move to another place, get that land just for the sake of your fucking peace. Travel to another country, live somewhere. And you've been seeing these visions and glimpses, and now it's starting to make sense. Because you were getting prepared, because you cannot save them, because you're realizing you're your own savior. You having that connection to your spirit. And the signs just keep reappearing. You not knowing who are going to show up on your journey. These people are already waiting on you. Y'all better listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Or a lot of things that's happening right now, shit is happening rapidly. A lot of us are at places. A lot of us are just going places. Again, as this false narrative falls, these illusions being removed, you're going to be able to see you and then others that are in alignment with your journey. Because your birthright is joy. Your birthright is love. Your birthright is speaking your divine truth. Your birthright is living an abundant life, prosperous life. And that could look different for everyone. Shit, I don't care if it's a little home by the ocean or a little, it could be, that could look different for everyone. But the beauty of all of this is, can you honor that? Can you surrender to that calling? Can you embrace that? Are you willing to face those very things that you know your mother feared, that you know that a lot of people feared and hold on to their careers and jobs and certain things? Are you willing to reconnect to the essence of who you really are and live out that innocence of reclaiming that crown of glory of your childhood, like that innocence of that, and expressing that through your artistry, your music, speaking from both what you've experienced and now implementing that into the world? Because it was given to you only to be given away. This is why I've been telling people, you were giving. The universal source is a giver. You were giving. I was giving this wisdom and knowledge. I was giving this voice. I was giving these things to share. It does not belong to me. I do not take credit for none of this shit. Because it doesn't belong to me. That's the beauty of it. This is why a lot of people are getting a lot of rude awakenings, because of how the illusion of control they've been living in, assuming that certain things belong to them. And a lot of people are going to get a rude or like a wake-up call. I've been telling a lot of women, if a lot of men are being initiated right now, and y'all been so focused on these people going to these practitioners, readers, going wherever, trying to figure out this and not listening to your own fucking guidance. This is why a lot of you have your awakening. A lot of you are getting initiated, women and men, your spiritual gifts, because in the coming moments, you're going to feel that nudge. You're going to know what it is to do, when to move, how to go here for your protection on your journey. This is why a lot of you trying to figure out, well, who is right? Well, who is this? And really, who are you really aligning with that's really on a righteous path? Because the whole world has been in delusion and confusion. So it ain't about saving people. The ones that know will come right along, and it's an inner thing. You'll know, because it's not about forcing it anymore. It's not about convincing people anymore. It's just what it is. People cannot hold on to you no more, because the path is going to be clear. Because some of us have a higher and greater calling to where certain things try to get in the way, they will be removed. A lot of things will be clear. Your path is clear. It's just certain things that's behind the scenes that's happening. Certain people have to come in. Certain people have to help. Certain things are coming online. So again, there's nothing that can stop it. Just keep your head up. Keep loving. Keep vibing. Go have fun. You know what I'm saying? So y'all take care of yourself. Peace and blessings. Shalom.